without wasting a penny, let's talk about the domain name vegan.market. Now, people will remember this. But the .market domain extension, this is pretty unique and not much people are into it. So we're going to talk about this domain name, whether it is worth or not, and should you buy it or not. So when you're picking a domain name, you're not choosing something catchy. You're choosing the foundation of your digital identity. Your domain name plays a huge role in branding, SEO, and trust building. So let's break this down. Now, take a look at vegan.market versus veganproducts.com. Now, take a look at vegan.market. This is creative, this is fun, no doubt. But if we are talking serious ROI, let's consider a more traditional approach like veganproducts.com or maybe veganstore.com. I don't know if they are taken or not, but I'm just giving examples over here. So here is why. SEO and search traffic. Let's just face it, most people still gonna type .com in the search bar first. In fact, Google gives more weight to the domain names with the .com extension when it comes to SEO. So if you want to show up at the top of the search results, you might be better off with a more recognizable .com domain extension, which is easy to remember. But this could rank well with right SEO effort, but that's a little more work for you. But if you're registering big companies, okay, let me tell you, they register these types of domain names. Because if you check, certain domain with the .com domain names are not really available. And these types of names are actually giving an ultra edge. So you have to spend a lot more money into marketing and branding to get the same level of organic traffic than a .com domain name could deliver from just day one. So now we're going to talk about trust and credibility. When people are browsing the web, they don't always know what to expect from a .market domain extension. So it's still a relatively new domain extension compared to the obviously the .com, the .org and the other ones. While some people may think it is cool, other may hesitate. So it's just that this is new. That's the reason people might tend to hesitate. But if you are marketing it well, people will come. Trust me. So trust is built obviously over time, but the domain you choose can either accelerate the process or maybe slow it down. Now we're going to talk about brand recognition. .com domains have been around for decades, so people trust them. They're familiar with this. So if you are serious about long-term brand growth and recognition, going with a domain name like the one I told you, veganproduct.com or other, with the .com domain extension could be more strategic move. It is easier for the customers to remember, share and link back to it, making it easier to build that brand presence. Now, there is another thing. People might end up typing veganmarket.com. So you gotta be looking from every possible angle. I have seen people, with the other domain extension, they still try to enter the .com, like vegan.market, this is the name, they'll enter veganmarket.com. So obviously you got to promote and market a lot so that it just gets into the people's mind. But this is actually a good domain name. So finally, we're going to talk about a little professionalism about this. When people see a .com domain, they often assume it's a business that's been around for a very long time. Because obviously the .coms are not available, and when they see such good domain names available and a platform or a website, they just get stuck to it easily. And they often they consider that yes, this might be around for a long while, and we have discovered it right now. So whether that's true or not, the vegan.market, this is cool, but a .com domain over here has that inherited sense of stability and professionalism that appeals to the customer who might be making bigger buying decisions. So should you consider the .market domain extension? Now, I'm not saying vegan.market is absolutely a go-to domain name or a bad domain name. It definitely has a lot of potential, especially if you're targeting the younger, trendier people in the market. If you're launching something innovative, something that's new and fresh, vegan.market could be a big statement. It could even work well for a niche marketplace where people expect something unique. But if you're planning to scale or build something long-term, trust and visibility, you may want something, you may want to weigh the pros and cons, obviously, before taking the decision. Let's say you are still leaning towards something more memorable. there are plenty of alternates to consider. You could go for obviously the ones that I've told, or maybe veganhub.com, or maybe plantpowder.com, or even purelyvegan.com. There can be so many things made up, you know. These options have the advantage of being traditional, obviously .com, instantly recognizable. They could give you a solid foundation for both SEO and branding effort. But at the end of the day, a great domain name is that works for you in both short-term goals and your long-term vision. It could be easy to remember, easy to spell, and most importantly, easy to type in. Okay, this is what I was saying. So if you are really serious about your business, let's have a conversation. If you need any help regarding domain names, I'm all there. And last but not the least, if you see on GoDaddy platform, this is GoDaddy. Okay, if you check on GoDaddy, the price is $550 and with a renewal of $13.20 per year. And if you check other platform, I am gonna show you of Danadot. This is available to register for $880 with a renewal of $880. So always check with the registrars. Some registrars do offer 50% discount on domain names. So always check before you register anything, and tell me what you think about this.